Hello everyone, welcome to Gadgets 360, and this is the new LG Wing. Now this is not an ordinary smartphone, so I thought I'll make a slightly different video for it. I have reviewed it, and if you want to check that out, head to gadgets360.com. But in this video, I'm going to talk about the smartphone, 3 features that I like about it and 3 quirks that, well, I don't. So the LG Wing, what's so special? This is because it's a T-shaped smartphone that flips, or rather swivels, to give you one display in landscape mode and another tiny one in portrait. So for those curious, the big display is 6.8 inches in length, whereas the tiny one is 3.9 inches. And well, the form factor is unique, so you can enjoy a video in landscape while holding a smartphone in portrait mode, so it's convenient that way. In terms of the hardware that is powering it, well, you get a Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G SoC, which is also powering, say, phones like the OnePlus Nord. It does have 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, though it is expandable to 2TB. Now, let's talk about the cameras at the back, and that's a little different because it's a triple camera setup with a 64 megapixel primary camera, a 13 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with a 117-degree field of view, and another 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with, they call it a gimbal motion camera, so that's a little weird, and there's a quirk with respect to the cameras as well, so stay tuned. So let's talk about the features first, and the first feature is that you can enjoy 2 different apps on this smartphone very easily. Let me show you that. So when you have, say, I can have YouTube running while I have Chrome, and it's not these 2 apps. You can have any combination of apps running, and it is a little useful. So for me, I like to QC videos on the screen at the top while taking down notes. And it's the same thing with Zoom calls as well. I can attend a Zoom call while I am taking notes at the bottom in the Notepad app. So that is one nice feature that I like about this particular smartphone. The other tiny feature is that this tiny display, well, you have multiple benefits of it. You can use it as a trackpad if you want. So as you can see, this is how it would work. You have a tiny trackpad at the bottom, and that's not all. You also have media controls on it, so in case you want to play a video, that is where you'll get all the media controls, so you do not have to stretch out to reach the buttons on the smartphone. So that is one other feature that I do like about it. Now the third feature of this phone is that it has IP54 rating, which makes this splash proof. Now a phone that has moving parts is very hard to waterproof, and I'm glad that LG has at least thought about IP54 rating, and it's also military standard 810G rated, which means that it is shock proof and it can handle extreme temperatures. So for someone who wants a rugged phone, well, the LG Wing is something you can consider. Now let's move on to the quirks, a few things that I'm not very fond of on the LG Wing. Now the first thing is that all the buttons are on the right hand side of the device, and one issue I have noticed is that when you open up the display, well, the buttons are exactly behind the display that opens up, and it makes it really hard to access those buttons while you're using it. So you'll probably have to fold the display back to make any changes, or use the secondary display to make it. The other problem is that you can only really flip this open with your right hand, because if I try it on the left, it's not that easy. So that is something, it's a quirk. It will favor right-handed people. Left-handed people would probably have to use 2 hands to flip it open. It's not all that easy. And the third quirk of the LG Wing is that only 2 cameras are functional when it is in folded mode. So when you have it in folded mode, you only have the 64 megapixel camera working and the 13 megapixel ultra wide angle camera for photos. And it's only when you open it up in its T-shaped mode, you only have the 12 megapixel camera working. So you cannot have all the 3 cameras working in one mode. It's like 2 modes for the folded one and only 1 camera. And it's because the 12 megapixel ultra wide angle gimbal motion camera uses different software. So you do have a tiny gimbal software which allows you to pan, tilt and zoom. So that makes it a little easy while using it in this mode. So these are three of the features that I like about the LG Wing, and three quirks that, well, it's not all that great. So what do you think about the LG Wing? Let me know that in the comments down below. And everyone who's curious about the price, well, it's priced at 60,000 rupees. So do tell me what you think about that as well. And for all things tech, well, stay tuned to gadgets360.com.